Hi folks, I'm Gene McLoughlin. Welcome to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. Today we have a slightly different program because this will be the last program that Mayor Henry will be doing here with Old Bridge Television. Mayor, I know you're going to be leaving, and I thought it might be appropriate if you were to tell people where you're going and what you're going to be doing.
Well, Gene, you know, I was just elected senator, LD 12, this past November, so I will be moving not far. My office will be right down the road on 516, but most of my political work will now be done in Trenton, New Jersey.
And how do you feel about that? You ready for that?
Mixed emotions.
Yeah.
I would have loved to stay here as the mayor. I was really looking forward to it in a fourth term setting. It would be historic. No one has ever served more than 12 years. But the opportunity came to me, and I have to take advantage of when an opportunity like that comes, to be only one of 40 in the state.
I certainly think you're the right person to take advantage of it too, Mayor.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to be taking a look back at the mayor's terms. There are 12 years, 3 terms. We're going to be picking them apart year by year as we go, the key things that happened in each of those years, and we're going to be hitting on that, the highlights of the mayor's 12 years in office. Mayor, can we start in 2012?
2012.
When you became...
Well, we started writing the show 12 years ago.
Yes, we started 12 years ago, that's right, the 5th of January, but who's counting?
Yes.
12 years ago. So, Mayor, it was the first term for you doing that. What'd you think when you first took over?
Let's start off by saying I didn't think I was going to be successful in the mayoral race. I really didn't think. I mean, I had a great message, but you know, name recognition. I wasn't on the council.
Right.
I was on the Board of Education for 3 years. But I went out and with the message, and people accepted that message and believed in me and elected me as mayor. So I came in difficult times.
Yes, I was going to say that. You sort of had the financial issue or two.
Sometimes I think nobody else wanted it. But I believe I had the background, the skill set to make a difference. The town was in dire financial straits, couldn't make payroll, and it was just a difficult time everywhere. And I came in and started working on day one. I made a commitment during my campaign that I was going to be a full-time mayor. I thought that a town this size needs someone here every day, making sure that we keep going in the right direction. And I was the first mayor to make that commitment since the mayors were being appointed and/or elected.
Right, so. And that was, I remember when you took over, pretty much full term.
Yeah, there was a deficit of about $6 million.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And we had to make some difficult decisions. But at the time, if anyone remembers those council meetings where they were really wanted my head on a platter,
yes, sir.
Because making those difficult decisions, I promised that no mayor in the future was going to have to make those same difficult decisions I made, and I've held true to that statement. Everything I've touched, I'd made better here over the last 12 years.
I think so too. We're going to be definitely talking about
You've had a front row seat, Gene.
I sure have, and we're going to be talking about a lot of what you made better, Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor, part of that, I think, you hired Chris Marion to come in as the business administrator.
Yeah, that was my first main objective, was to get an administrator in town, and Chris Marion became available. In fact, he was promoting himself, and he contacted some people. He was up in a smaller town, a little north of us.
Yes, sir.
And we interviewed him, and within the first 10 minutes, I said, "That's my man."
Yeah.
He was dedicated. He was smart. He was everything a new mayor was looking for in a business administrator. And boy, did he prove!
Yes, I remember
that he was worth his weight in gold.
Mayor, one of the things you had alluded to at that time was you were trying to avoid one-time fixes.
Right.
At that time, I remember
the previous administration, and again, the blame game was over day one. I'm not going to blame anyone, but we were in a position because of decisions that were made by a prior administration. They were plugging budget gaps with one-time revenues.
Yeah.
And it caught up to the mayor finally after a couple of years that there was no more one-time revenues left to fill the gap. So, yeah, Chris and I, we worked day and night. We had to make, again, I keep saying the word difficult decisions, but it was a time of reduction in the workforce,
right,
and just doing finances a little differently, and we were able to limp through 2012, but start rebuilding somewhere around the middle of 2012. We started coming out of that $6 million hole with the support of the council and everyone else that realized what had to be done in order to make the town vibrant and successful as it is today.
Mayor, didn't some of this come from your prior experience as a businessman?
Absolutely, Gene. I've had to make, since I started my business in '96, I had to make payroll every 2 weeks.
That's it, yeah.
And I had to get jobs done on budget. There was no, I need more money. You couldn't go back to one of your clients and say, I need more money. So yes, my business background, dealing with finances and people, I think helped me tremendously in getting accomplished what needed to get accomplished here in Old Bridge. And again, I think that was why people voted for me. They say, hey, here's a businessman.
I think so
we need
too.
a businessman in town, not a politician. And I've stayed with that business mindset for 12 years, and I hope to bring that to Trenton with me.
Okay, good. And we'll be looking, Mayor. A couple negative things happened. Sort of, Lawrence Harbor was hit with a Superfund site with the EPA.
Yeah, it was identified when I came in. The first year, Gene, I was put through everything you can think of. We'll get into some of the details.
Yes,
we had earthquakes. We were really put to the test.
Yes.
And I think it made us a stronger administration. The tough first year we had. We were so used to dealing. We didn't run away from a problem, ran right to it. Yeah, but that was one of the, if you want to say, things that happened in 2012. We were looking to add Margaret's Creek to Cheesequake State Park.
Yes,
and the state does their due diligence, and they come in and did a phase 1 environmental study and came back and said, well, we're not taking the land because, they found illegal dumping had taken place, and there was breaking down of the seawall and the lead. It just started a whole nightmare.
Yeah.
And which we're still dealing with today, 12 years later.
Yeah, really.
We're still dealing with. We've made some progress, but we are still dealing with it today. So that was a kick in the pants, if you want to say.
Yeah. Boy, nothing like that ever goes away, huh?
No.
Mayor, one thing that was very unpleasant, very sad in the town was the mass shooting at Pathmark. Huh?
Yes, that was probably one of the worst days I've had to.
It was a brutal day.
When I was woken up, I believe it was about 4:30 in the morning by Chief Volkert at the time, and he had told me what happened. I almost had I had to sit down and think about what he was telling me. Was I still dreaming, or did this really evil come to Old Bridge that we had seen all, in other parts of the country, but never here on Route 9? And unfortunately, we lost 2 young, precious lives. Old Bridge High School students. I
remember.
It was Christina and Brian, and it was terrible. I mean, I wish no one had to go through that.
Oh, I know.
Families,
it was a sad time.
And it just wasn't that day. It was and we still deal with it. We still deal with with the anniversary.
Do you really?
Yes, absolutely. And I remember, like it was yesterday, the governor called me. At the time, there was a convention in Florida, and he called me and told me whatever we need. And again, it was more like you were in shock.
Yeah,
but we dealt with it. We dealt with it. The town came up. The generation at that time stepped forward, and they lit the candles that lit the path to, to moving forward after such a tragic event. But it has left a scar on many people, including myself.
Yeah, I can see that, and I didn't realize you still recognize that date.
Yeah, we still deal with it.
Yeah. Okay, Mayor, and then I think we had the big one, in October. Hurricane Sandy
here
came
comes
through.
Sandy.
That was
Superstorm
really
Sandy.
to test you.
That was, I remember being in the studio with Councilman Cahill, and we didn't know if we were signing off with electric. The town lost power for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We can smile about it a little bit now, but we had no loss of life from Sandy. There were other towns, quite a few people perished in Sandy. We did lose a lot of property along our shorefront, and even inland with the inland flooding at the time. But again, we got through it, and we worked hard day in and day out. That was a 24-hour progress with the police all hands on deck. We lost a number of homes. And that rebuilding, Sandy came, but we still have scars in the town from Sandy. You could still see parts of town has
I remember we went
impacted.
over and videotaped some of it, and it was really brutal
but
stuff
we've come out a stronger town after Sandy. We're more resilient now. If another Sandy should come, I think we are protected a lot. Our codes have changed, homes have been elevated. Our infrastructure has been hardened in areas where it was vulnerable at that time. So we're a better town now than we were before Sandy came in.
Okay, and the state and county allocated a lot of resources to you at that time too, didn't they?
It was a difficult time, but yes, finally the county and state came through with reimbursement money, because we were spending money, keeping everybody. The town was operating. We spent a lot of money those couple of months.
Okay, Mayor. Well, I think that wraps up 2012.
That was a long year.
That was a long year for you.
Long year, and it seems like it was yesterday, but it was 12 years ago. I can remember going to town hall meetings with the public with no electricity and getting yelled at and screamed at. That it was, what are we going to do? Yeah,
well, I remember we were covering the council in those days. Live.
We had special
council.
meetings. Here dealing with the residents and trying to get a process in place. There was no process in place of how to help people and get them back on their feet again. Some people lost everything.
Well, it was brutal for a lot of people.
We had a shelter set up over in the middle school.
I remember.
And we were taking people from other towns who needed help. So it was quite an experience.
That experience continued into 2013, Mayor.
It's still
cleanup underway.
Yep, it was a big cleanup.
The beachfront was rebuilt.
Yep, we started wherever the damage was started to repair. We had lost a lot of beachfront. We started building big walls made out of rocks. The MUA started hardening there. Thank God the sewage plant was not taken out, but it was close. So a lot of the homes we started working on with the Blue Acres through the state. We started the process of cleaning up after Sandy and making people whole again. And that continued on for the entire 13 and 14.
Mayor, the governor then was Chris Christie, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought so, Yeah, and at the same time, you also went out and hired somebody else. You hired Nicole Shapiro.
Yes, another great hire. Has had a huge impact on the township of Obridge and its residents. I'd put Nicole up against any township engineer in the state of New Jersey.
She's amazing. The things we've seen and that we've talked to her
about. Don't mess
about.
with Nicole.
Yeah, I know. She's amazing.
She's great. She's great. And that was, I'm blessed to surround myself with good people.
Yeah, her span of her knowledge. I remember when the hospital was being developed over there, and she was over there on her hands and knees with the charts, going over everything.
Nicole's hands-on.
Yeah, we went over there with the camera.
She did a great job, and she continues to do a great job. I mean, all these projects and everything we're going to be talking about, she played a very critical role,
Okay. Mayor, there was one other major event that happened in 2013, and that was you installing your model train set.
Yeah, well, everybody knows I'm
administration office, huh?
Everybody knows I'm a train collector, crazy nut. I still dabble in the trains, and I always will, probably till the day I leave this world. I still collect.
Do you still collect?
I still collect. I can't
go into the shows and all.
The habit. I just did a show a few weeks ago, and I will hopefully be able to continue to do those shows. I love engaging with like-minded people who love trains like I do, and they bring back such memories. My grandfather's trains, my father's trains, my trains. And I really enjoy it. That's my peacetime. That's when if I need to get away, that's where I go. I go play with my trains.
Well, I've seen you do a great job with the trains. I remember I had, when I was a little kid, a Line L.
That's what I collect.
Model train set.
Yeah.
And it was disappeared to a cousin of mine or something. And my
story.
dad gave it away and went to a cousin or something. That was the last I saw the Line L.
But if you have pictures of it, Gene, I can get it back for you. I can give you pieces.
I don't think I have any pictures. With all the stuff I have, I don't have that.
It's one of my biggest hurdles. I got to move all that stuff now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That was,
yes. That's giving me the most stress of anything.
But are they going to give you a big enough office down in Trenton in order to fit them in?
I'll make it big enough. Don't worry.
Mayor, we moved on to 2014, and unfortunately, I think it was early in the year, we had the home invasion situation.
That was a strange time.
That was weird, wasn't it?
That was weird, where they were targeting, if you had the last name Patel, you had to be very scared. You know, and it was, we had everybody on full alert, the police, the county, the state police, and it went on, and finally, you know, it was a stroke of luck that we realized what was happening. These people were flying in from out of state.
Yeah, from Texas and Georgia.
So there was nowhere. We were looking everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, under every rock and up in every tree, but they were gone. They weren't here. And finally, it was just a stroke of luck. There was a raid, I believe it was in Texas or Missouri or somewhere. There was a raid, and they found one of the items that was taken from a home here in Old Bridge.
Right, yes.
So it was luck that started, and these people were found. They were put on trial, and they were convicted.
Yeah, I
so
recall
they were
that.
nasty. They were evil people.
They
Evil.
sure were.
We were so lucky. I mean, there was physical violence, but no one's life was taken. But it was only a matter of time, I thought, before we were going to have a loss of life, because people were now preparing themselves. They were, getting firearms.
Well, I remember.
And it was scary. They were brazen. They would come in, break their way in when you were home. It's not like they were waiting for when you're not there. They wanted to tell you where the goods were. And it was just a scary time, and thank God, and knock on wood, that we found these culprits, and now they're in jail.
Yeah, they should be.
But again, those people were horrified. Again, the council meeting, standing room only.
I remember.
What are we doing? What are we doing? And of course, we couldn't tell them our playbook at the time because we knew everyone was listening. But we did everything we possibly could, and at the end of the day, I think we came out a better, stronger town after that.
Mayor, I think much of the targeting was against our Indian population, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely, and they had the same last name. And it wasn't in Old Bridge. It was up in Edison. Woodbridge had a couple. But Old Bridge, I believe we had 7 at the time. And that's 7 too many when you have home invasions. Here we are. Terrible.
That is scary. The whole idea of having your home invaded is very scary.
I mean, there's no worse feeling in the world than people stealing from you, and something you would see in a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
It's taking place right here.
But I'm glad they're still in jail anyway.
Yeah.
Mayor, we had 2 Republicans join the council in that year. I think it was Joe Mollis.
Good man.
And Alan Rosencrantz.
Yes, good man.
Joined
Joe
the council.
down in Lawrence Harbor. Alan, I believe he was Ward 4, local.
He was Ward 4,
here.
yes, sir.
2 good men that made contributions as they served on their time as council members.
And it beefed up the council count on the council too.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
well, it was working, Mayor.
No, I'm being sarcastic. But
no, that's fine.
Joe and Alan were good men and good people.
Yeah, they only had one term each, I think.
Yeah.
Mayor, there was also a time you made specific notice of the fact the capital budget passed then, $14 million capital budget, major investment.
That was one of the things I said when that we were going to invest, whereas the previous administration looked like they wanted to borrow and spend. My motto was that we were going to save money and we were going to invest money. I think that was the most money at that time ever invested into the town in one year. When I came on, there was 0 money invested into the town. And then we started slowly, and that's so important to invest back into the community. And we did. We made a major investment that year, and we were very proud of that. Yeah, roads were getting big, drainage projects, everything that we had been talked about for decades, we started moving forward on, and Nicole played a major role in getting that done. Because and Mr. Marion, we planned for it. We everything that needed to get done, and I think as a businessman, I said we're going to get this done, no matter what it takes, and we did. We got that done.
Yeah, and it was a big start, as you said, And I think again, to repeat myself, it reflected on your business background. I think a lot of this business.
Yeah, we did the energy saving improvement, the ESIP it was called, where we actually used the money from savings. We got that up front. We're able to upgrade most of the infrastructure in our buildings. So it was a great time. It was a good time.
Good time.
It was a great time.
Mayor, a couple other things then. The Old Bridge Police Department received accreditation by the state.
That's so important to have accreditation. And what I think is even more important, that we've continued. You don't get it one time and keep it. You have to go through that process, every couple of years. And we were just successful, I believe, last year in reaccreditation, as they call it. And I think for a police department to have credibility, you have to have accreditation.
What is accreditation for a police department, Mayor, if I may?
An outside agency goes through our policies. Whatever they do, they make sure that it meets today's standards and it's carried out properly. And if there's a deficiency, we correct it. And there was a few deficiencies that we corrected as we go through, as policing has changed so much over the years. So we keep your police department on its toes, if that's what you want to call it, to make sure that they're operating under the Attorney General guidelines, which change. And the police department don't sit back and put their feet up and just and cruise. So it's a tough
But is
process to go through.
accreditation a triumph in a way? Is every
Absolutely.
police department accredited?
No.
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 So being accredited means
As I
something.
said, it gives credibility.
Yes,
it
sir.
assures, it saves us from being sued. You know, that our police officers are acting under the guidelines of the Attorney General. Insurance companies require it. You know,
do they?
liability can
Okay.
happen if an officer does something. So it meets all the training standards. It just, it has to be done in a department this size. Has to.
You know, I was going to say about the department too, Mayor. You were responsible, I think, those early years of building the police department out a bit.
Yeah, it was painful
terms
when I
of
came in.
headcount.
The department was without a contract, I believe, for 5 years. So that was, you know, and then we had some tough decisions to make when I came in. I believe that was an all-time low for our police department. And now we are at the historic highs with numbers. I started the hiring process approximately 10 months after I got into office in
Right,
12.
I remember that, yeah.
And now we've added police officers. We have a canine. Now dogs
saw
are
that.
training.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I've rebuilt. The fleet is all new vehicles now. When I came in, the vehicles were, when it snowed, we had to borrow trucks from Parks and Rec and the road department. You know, our police cars would not move in the snow. I believe there was only 2 four-wheel drive vehicles at the time. Now everything we own is four-wheel drive, just about. On patrol, our patrol, the numbers are as high as they've ever been in the township.
Okay.
We're very proud of what we've done with the police department.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. There's one other thing in 2014, I think, the Economic Development Committee
Yes.
was formed and planned to reestablish things
Correct.
in Old Bridge. How did that?
Yeah, that's so important in a town, that you have to have an economic development. You have to have a plan. You have
Yes,
to have
sir.
a strategy. And in rebuilding the town, look what it's yielded today. Old Bridge being one of the most vibrant towns in the state of New Jersey.
Old Bridge is booming.
It's booming, but yet not overdeveloping. It has a plan, an economic development. What does Old Bridge need? One size doesn't fit all for every town. So what works in Old Bridge, and we you know, that's what we focused on. What do we need here in Old Bridge?
But the thing on Route 9, I think, is unbelievable. Every time I pass there, I
That
look
was
at that.
talked about and approved in the 90s, we all know, and then it sat.
That was the Brunetti.
That was, yeah, Bernetti 2000, that was
Yeah.
the plan.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I can say it now, I really wasn't crazy about the plan because of the amount of residential development that was going to occur with that plan.
Yes, sir.
But it was approved. And now, but we worked with that, and we've made it, I think we've made it a lot better. We've taken a lot of those residential units off the market now with a better, cleaner economic, you know, progress without overdevelopment.
But that thing is growing like a weed. It's going faster and faster every time I pass there.
Sure.
Some new building is
Yeah,
going
we
up.
have, there's a lot of things happening. You've only seen part of it. There's going to be a big medical office building.
Really?
I'm not going to say the name
Yeah.
of the builder, but yeah, that's coming soon. So you're going to see a major source of services and entertainment on Route 9 on the southbound side.
Yeah, well, I see some of the buildings already are labeled. They're starting to.
Well, we all know the ShopRite finally.
ShopRite, yeah.
Target, focusing more on like the e-tail /
Yes, sir.
you know, a business model. I think there's about 10 pad sites out front for eating establishments. Like I said, the
Yeah,
medical office
right.
building is coming. So it's going to, you know, people don't have to travel now outside of Old Bridge.
That ShopRite that's giving away, though, that was a classic store for years.
It was great. It was a staple for
Oh, it
years.
was,
one
my-
of the, you know, under Mr. Charlie
yeah,
Shakur.
yeah.
I mean, he was just, boy, when you needed something, you went to Charlie and you got it. It was great.
Oh, I know. When we lived here, my wife would go no other place than that
Yeah.
ShopRite, you know, to
But
go.
now we're going to have a state-of-the-art super
Yeah.
ShopRite, one of the largest ones in the state of New Jersey.
That's nice. Family owned. Again.
Family owned, yeah.
Family owned.
The
type of
Sumos
thing.
family, I'll say. Bill's been a great supporter of the town. He's maintained, you know, the
He
ShopRite.
maintained the existing
Yes,
one,
the
yeah.
existing, knowing that, you know, it was outdated, it was small.
Yeah.
It was way out of the business model that ShopRite has now, but he was consistent. He was dedicated to getting a new ShopRite built here in Old Bridge, and it wasn't easy. It was not an easy
Really?
for him. Yes, he went out and purchased land because it was difficult dealing with the Bernetti organization, but at the end of the day, it worked out.
Okay, so that didn't become part of the overall scheme originally, that he had to go out and buy other land? Or?
But then they did come to terms with Regency, so they are going where we envisioned the ShopRite to go. But he was, like I said, he was dedicated to building a ShopRite, even if he had to purchase his own land.
Okay.
That's the street, so
Well,
that says a lot about
I'm
an
sure
individual.
it'll look good.
He was determined. That's the word.
Mayor, 2015. You started
Getting
your
close.
second. You started your second term.
Well, I was confident, being what we had accomplished, my team had accomplished in the first 4 years, and what a turnaround we had. I was confident going into the second term that I was going to be successful. I was confident, and I was out there with the same message. I'm going to continue. I'm not going to put my feet up. We're going to continue moving forward. And again, as we go through those next 4 years, we continue to improve, as we do today. So yeah, I was very happy with the results of the second term.
Yeah,
And
I think so too.
I was a more confident individual, a more confident mayor, because I had a team put together, knowing that there was going to be challenges along the way. And I think every time I made a speech, just wait 10 minutes, it might change. So we had to be ready.
Right.
Always ready.
Okay, Mayor. At that time too, you had some good personnel come in. Karen Tortorici.
Yes.
The Old Bridge Municipal Alliance.
She took the Municipal Alliance over during a very difficult time.
Yeah,
in all towns in the state of New Jersey and our country, we were at the height of the opioid epidemic.
I was going to say, yeah.
So Karen came in, and we sat down, and we came up with a plan, and she started moving it forward.
Yeah, her passing was a real tough one. It really was. She was a great lady.
She helped hundreds and hundreds of individuals, if not thousands.
I remember she used to come in here. I remember Karen used to come in here, and she was a nervous wreck until the camera rolled. Until the camera rolled, and then she was off and running.
Yes.
But that was too bad. And the other one that saw a lot of expansion, I think, was Camp Robin.
Camp Robin. I'm dedicated. That's what got me involved. I'll go back 20 years. That's what got me involved in public service and community help. Was helping the disadvantaged, especially those with special needs.
Yeah.
And as you know, Old Bridge runs and sponsors and maintains Camp Robin, one of the only few towns in the state of New Jersey that run their special needs program. So Camp Robin is near and dear to me, and I've always supported it and will continue to support it even at the Senate level, if not more. Yeah.
I think it was so well done, the programs, the activities, the kids, the adults.
People come from all over to participate, and we've had people move to Old Bridge because of Camp Robin. Correct.
There again, unfortunately, one of the key people in that, Peter Pirro. Peter Pirro was a great guy. I always thought he did a lot of programs up there.
He was solid. I'll tell you, Pete was solid as a rock. When you gave Pete something to do, you never had to worry about it again.
No.
Pete, do this, and it was done.
Yeah, we used to go up there and shoot some of the things. It was great. Peter was
dedicated.
Yeah.
We were blessed to have him.
Yeah, another gentleman that passed too soon.
Yes.
He really did. And lastly, new people. New library director come in. Nancy Cohen came in and brought a new energy, a new flair to the library.
Yeah, we had seen, when you come in, you prioritize, Gene.
Yes, sir.
And I knew the library was I'm going to use the word slacking, but I thought it could have been better. Yeah. And as you said, Nancy came in and really brought the library to the next level through a time when technology was changing at a daily rate. And then we started to focus on what was going on in the library, and I think we made great strides.
Well, she did a lot of things back then because we videotaped a lot of things over. She did a lot of programs. She did the concerts, the Saturday afternoon shows, exhibits, cultural
we realized
arts.
the library that we grew up with isn't the library that the public wanted today.
No.
It wasn't about books and the Dewey Decimal System anymore. It was about programs, concerts. It was about bringing the public to a building where you could share knowledge.
And she did that. She had that idea farm, if you remember the idea farm and Ancestry. She had a lot of things. I think she did a great job.
She did.
We taped so many
things. I talked to her once in a while.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. She was a good person. Again, we were lucky to have her.
Okay. Well, Mayor, I think it's probably time for us to take a break. Okay, how's that? We'll take a breath.
I'm okay, Jim.
And we've covered from 2012 through 2015, and we still have a few more years to go, Mayor. Okay, but folks, we're going to be taking a break with Mayor Henry right now, reviewing his terms in office. We're up to 2015. We'll be picking up at 2016 when we come back. Please stay with us.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
Folks, welcome back to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. As we discussed at the beginning of the program, this will be the last Old Bridge Outlook for Mayor Henry. However, as he said, he's moving on to something bigger, probably and better. He's going to Trenton as a state senator, representing the 12th Legislative District. And we're continuing our talk right now. We've been taking it apart, the mayor's terms by year, the 12 years. We're up to 2016. And we're covering everything the mayor did in that period of time. And Mayor, if we can pick up 2016 and
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was one of the busiest years.
Yes.
You had an incredibly busy year. And if I could start off, there was that energy aggregation program.
Correct.
Began. How has that ever worked out?
Well, I had a different name for it. I called it energy aggravation.
Aggravation program. Okay, wait a
But
minute. Let's,
no,
yes.
we knew at the time it was a worthwhile program. The easy thing to do, Gene would have said, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew that it was a worthwhile exercise to go
Right,
through.
I remember that, yeah.
It was not well received by the public because nobody likes to be told, this is good for you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Gene, as you said, collectively, the residents of Old Bridge saved over $2 million.
Is that what it came out
Yes,
to be, the $2
yes.
million?
$2 million with the entire township being put into a aggregation program
Right,
where the rate was lowered by about 2 cents per kilowatt hour, being we bought it for the whole town.
Yes, sir.
And the township had been the township municipality had been participating in programs like that for years. You know, we purchased our bulk electricity, but this allowed the residents to pool all their meters together.
Right.
The 24,000 meters. And get electricity at a cheaper rate for a number of years.
And
so we went through it,
yeah.
and once we got it going, people realized it wasn't. It was a good thing. The average person saved about $200 a year on their electric bill.
That's not
bill. So collectively, it was over $2 million savings to the residents of Old Bridge, and our goal was that they reinvest that money back into their homes, or they use it, to stimulate the economy
Yes, sir.
with. So it worked. It worked. And then it came to an end. And unfortunately, with the destabilization of the energy market, it's no longer a doable alternative. And we just
Really?
went through that. Yeah, the energy aggregation is no longer, no one's going to commit to a price of electricity for 24 months because of the destabilization of the energy
okay.
market.
I was going to say, if it was so successful, why did it wither away?
Well, anything
you know?
that's good, the government will try to
Get
stop
rid of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Mayor, along with that, there was a gas main project here in Old Bridge with PSE&G, right?
Old Bridge is aging, as we know,
Yes, sir.
and public services are major. We also have New Jersey Natural Gas, and the infrastructure that was installed in the 50s and the 60s was now reaching its lifespan.
Yes, sir.
And we've seen in other areas of the country with gas explosions and the failure of gas and the way it's delivered to your home. So public service and New Jersey Natural Gas came to town and said, we're going to be replacing all the gas mains in the town, anything over so many years old or whatever the material was made up at the time that was reaching the end of its lifespan.
Yes, sir.
And they started going through town, and they continue. And it's probably another 2 years to go. You can just imagine the project, the scope of something that size. when they go through a neighborhood and dig up the road and dig up your lawn.
Oh, I remember when they were doing
But
it.
they are doing a great job. If a resident has a problem, please call us. And we have, they're very responsive. They don't want bad publicity either. But a lot of our roads are in poor condition. But come springtime, they will be repaved and fixed. So it's worth it.
So
It
the
really
project
worth
is
it.
still underway in effect?
Underway, still ongoing, yes. And it will
Wow.
be for a number of years
To get the whole township
to
done.
get the whole town.
Right.
And we'll be a safer, better town.
Right, okay. Mayor, I also had one other thing seem to happen that year, and that was this program, I think it was initiated by Steve Mamakis, the Safe Ride program,
Yeah.
which spawned a few other things, but why don't we talk about that a little bit? He put into,
Yeah, that was a
Safe
program
Ride
that
with-
allowed people within Old Bridge.
with Uber?
Yeah, with Uber. They co-sponsored that program that if anyone needed a ride home after a few drinks,
Yes, sir.
to please call Uber, and that was in town, was at no charge
Right,
to
I
that
remember
person making a good decision, or someone in the establishment making that decision for them,
Yeah.
and not to get behind the wheel of their car. And at that time, we were still having a lot of problems with people with DWI, especially
Yeah.
around the holiday season,
Yeah.
especially on the weekends. Some younger people that were not, used to that,
Mm-hmm.
thought it would be okay. So yeah, that was very successful. And you can't measure how many lives we saved.
Oh, I imagine
So,
it was a lot when you read all these accidents people have.
Yeah, and
Oh, my
alcohol
God.
played a role in over 50% of the
Yeah.
accidents. So that was something Steve put together, and it was a worthwhile program.
There was another one he put together, and that was the property tax cards.
Yeah, that's still there. If you buy or eat at certain establishments, you'll get a certain amount of money deducted off, and that was up to each establishment what they permit. So yeah, people who took
It
advantage
seemed
of
to
it
be pretty,
was
pretty
deducting
effective.
that fee right off their taxes.
Right. Okay, Mayor, it was also a time we had a new publication come out, the All Around Old Bridge,
Yeah.
and that seems to be still in currency, still in
Yeah,
circulation.
Still in circulation, delivered in your mailbox, not thrown on your front lawn, and it's a great program. It's a great, local paper. You really get a feel.
Yeah,
Everything is local.
that was a project of Dave Hernandez.
Hernandez,
wasn't
right?
it?
Right. Yeah. He still has the publishing of that. Now it's all around Matawan. I think he's picked up a number
Has
of
he
towns.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he brought the concept to me where he was doing in other
Yeah.
towns,
Yeah.
all around, Pensauken, I think was
Yeah.
the paper he
Oh,
showed
really?
me. I said it's a great idea, and
It
it
is.
allowed the local businesses to, be specific in the town in which they operate, and it allowed so many nice articles. I read it from front page to back page every month when we get it.
Yeah, well, the Suburban seemed to just wither away.
I haven't received one of them, and I can't
I
remember.
know,
the
that
last
was
time.
the paper for a long time.
Yeah,
you know.
a lot of them have moved to online now. a
Yes,
lot of
I
them,
think so. Even the major publications have.
Yes.
And Mayor, another biggie came up, I think, was the merger, if you will, of Raritan Bay Hospital and
That was
Hackensack.
huge. That was huge because they were struggling. The hospital was struggling
Yeah.
to keep the facilities open, Perth Amboy and Old Bridge. And we're very lucky Hackensack Meridian, one of the major healthcare providers in the state of New Jersey, came in and took over both those facilities. And that has been a game changer for Old Bridge and the residents and the surrounding towns to have access
Yeah.
to the state-of-the-art healthcare. And they continue to invest into that hospital. Continue as we speak.
Yeah, well, they had the emergency room.
The
There's
emergency room was
10,000.
completed. They built the medical arts building there.
Yes, sir.
That's full, and it's just providing. If you go there, the parking lot is filled.
I know.
Whereas prior, you could get a spot right by the front door.
No, because I know that because I still go to doctors in Old Bridge. Most of my doctors are in Old Bridge, both buildings, the old building and the new building, and parking is tough.
I go there for my outpatient, blood testing,
Yes,
and whatever,
sir.
prior to my doctor's visit, and I'm telling you, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It is. The people are great. The facility is great, and it's just very convenient for anyone who lives in Old Bridge and within that that 5
Yes,
mile
sir.
radius of that building. We have people coming from all over, and more doctors are coming in.
I'm sure, because that was, as we used to kid about it, a bump and bruise hospital for many years,
Yeah.
And had no real character
And now
to
they're
it.
focusing on the mental health issues.
Well, they
They're
really-
starting to focus on younger, pediatrics and maternity. It's just a mobility hospital. You know, the ORs are continuous.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen
with the
when I
joint
go there.
replacement.
Yeah,
And they have
seem
the
to
Da
be
Vinci, which does the robotic.
Yeah, which is definitely state of the art now.
Yes.
The Da Vinci project.
Great to have them in town.
Yeah.
Great relationship.
But they're in so many towns, Mayor. If you go up and down the shore, they're up north. They're from JFK. They're all the way down to Jersey Shore, and every place you go.
But you
there.
know, Gene, most of the hospitals are focused around your cities. But we're Old Bridge. We're rural, and yet we have a state-of-the-art hospital.
I know, and
here
that
in
was
Old
good.
Bridge.
That was good.
And
Okay.
at the 528 towns, I believe there's only 63 hospitals left
Is
in
that
New
all?
Jersey.
Really?
So
63. Wow. That is something. Mayor, the other thing we had some discussion about at the time, I know at the council, and made some news, and this was this COA obligation.
that was again, Gene,
Yeah,
a
well,
very difficult,
what
challenging
happened there?
time because
Yeah.
most people didn't understand what COA meant. The Coalition on Affordable Housing.
Yes, sir.
You know, Supreme Court ruling that no town could deter people from moving to Old Bridge or any town because of their financial situation. So you have to make a percentage of housing available, whether you like it or not. And we were one of the first towns in New Jersey to settle with them because they came in and asking for 3,000 affordable units.
I remember.
And when you say affordable units, that leads to like 15 or 10 market rate units. So they were looking for a huge number of market rate units that would cover the cost of the affordable units. So we were able to settle. We have a number of projects going on in town where the numbers that we settled at were drastically lower than towns who fought them and thought they were going to be successful.
Really?
And you could see what's happened to surrounding towns who fought COA and lost miserably in the court of law, and now we're building more units than they can handle.
Mayor,
So we
this
did
is
well.
federal. This is federal law or
State.
law.
Yeah.
But it does seem
State
to
of New Jersey.
seem to be very popular. Not popular, but you seem to hear a lot about it.
We do, and the next round is coming soon in 2025. Will be the next round where the towns are going to be responsible to provide affordable housing units, and we've been banking units over the next. We've settled and met our requirements for the last
Yes,
round,
yes, sir.
and we've been banking units for the next round. So hope Old Bridge will be in a better place when 2025 comes around, and that's one of the things at the state level I hope to address, because what they do with COA, one size fits all.
Fits all,
and it
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Each town is so different. How can you force a town without water and sewer to build these number of units that you don't have the infrastructure for? Where I think your cities need to focus, and just on the perimeter of the cities need to focus on affordable units. But we are there. It is alive and well here in Old Bridge, and it's
well, that's
allowed a lot of
encouraging.
people to stay in Old Bridge. As you downsize or move, and you want as your economic situation changes, you shouldn't have to leave a town that you've grew up in.
No,
So we have
ideally you
a
wouldn't.
number
No,
of
I
units
agree.
coming online. We have a long list of people, and we have over 5,000 people on our list waiting for affordable units
Really?
as they come online. But we have a number of projects happening that will bring these affordable units online and allow the public to take advantage and staying in the
That's
town they know
definitely
and love.
encouraging.
Yes.
Definitely a way to make it happen.
But it's a difficult conversation to have with a lot of people.
Well, I remember when it first started, when it was a couple
It was
years ago, when
divisive,
we went
very
through it. I remember how
divisive.
divisive it was.
Very divisive, but we got it passed. We just squeaked by with the council, getting it approved, and I think it was the best decisions the council has ever made.
Mayor, I see that Old Bridge was again named one of the safest cities.
And that year, Gene, yes, that was the first time they came out with those polls, and they put all the data into computer, the crime stats,
Yes, sir.
and they came out with Old Bridge being one of the safest towns in New Jersey, and that was a good feeling to know that, and that was a direct result of the people who live here. I mean,
Yes,
put
sir.
a feather in their cap, our police department. So yeah, it's and nobody wants anything more than being safe where they live. We see the chaos that's going in around pretty close to,
Yes,
to
sir.
Old Bridge,
Yeah.
and we've maintained that, that quality of life. Public safety is number one where I come from.
Well, the public safety issue has been prevalent the last few years, and it continues to be
Yes.
very favorably
Sure.
treated. Okay. Mayor, the housing values, we touched on them a little bit off camera, the housing values in Old Bridge
Yeah,
have
the
appreciated.
housing market has become very strong, continues to be strong. In fact, Gene, as I said off air, I did a program a few weeks ago with the real estate industry, and they maintain that Old Bridge today is one of the strongest markets in the state of New Jersey, with 20 to 30% over asking, and for every home, there's like 100 interested buyers for every home. So you put your house on the market, it's going to be sold.
That's a plus. That is definitely
even
a
with
plus.
the interest rate increase. So
yeah,
and that's a testament. People come to a town for a reason. One, safety, as you mentioned, great school system, which we have.
Yes, sir.
The quality of life, the parks, a town that invests in the public. So we have everything going for us, and I think that's why the housing market is strong. The hospital attracts people. Services attract people to come move, where they don't have to drive to surrounding towns to get what they need, what they deserve to have here in town. So that was a big, push for me as mayor to get that done, and it is done. And I see the housing market remaining strong.
Yeah, the housing market is booming. I mean, my son-in-law is an assessor, and he sees it as he, as he goes around. He sees the boom in pricing in houses.
Yeah, and there's a difference, and we have a good balance of available units. We have the single-family home, used and new being built. We have the higher density, the townhouses, new and used being built. We have the condominiums being built. We have this new phase that's going around the state, the luxury apartments, which seems a lot of people are interested in. They don't want to do anything. They want to come home and park their car and do whatever they feel like doing. They don't want to do anything. So
no,
that's
you see
very
more
appealing.
luxury.
The luxury apartments are very appealing to a lot of people,
Particularly
younger and the older.
Particularly down the shore, the Jersey Shore area, Long Branch. If you're
But they're
familiar
very
with Long
popular
Branch.
right here in
Are they
Old Bridge.
popular? That's interesting.
Everybody has a sign up, luxury apartments.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think, if anything, they'd want to show some kind of economic number, so people would be more attractive to spend the money.
It's changed.
particularly
How do
the
you
interest
commit
rate.
to a 30-year mortgage if you're not stable in your work environment? Some people move around job to job to job. So it's hard to get a mortgage nowadays, especially with the down payments that are required. And if you downsize, you sold your home, and you want to stay in Old Bridge, an apartment is a viable alternative.
Yeah, and you see, as I said before, I'm repeating myself, you saw more of these apartments around.
Yes,
More
they're
and
being
more.
built everywhere.
Yeah, I see them. I see
Everywhere.
them as I travel around. Okay, Mayor, one other thing that we should touch on is the police department got a new radio system a while back.
Yes, when I first came on, we had a radio system that we would have to go on eBay and buy parts for. And it had been talked about for many, many, many years.
remember.
And they just were never able to get everybody at the same table. When you buy a new radio system, it's not just for the police, fire, EMS, OEM.
I remember
and
that.
they have to agree. And boy, it's hard to get people to agree on anything. But we were able to come up with a system that everybody agreed on. It was a state-of-the-art technology, and we continue to maintain that radio system today. And it was a great investment. It was a lot of money at the time. It was over $6 million.
Yeah.
And that was a sticking point for the previous administration. Not only they couldn't get the money, but they didn't have the money to invest. We were able to get that done. The
Is
finances.
everybody now on the same wavelength, so to speak?
Yes, everybody's on the same radio. In fact, we're doing now an improvement in our paging system. Some of our the fire relies on a paging system, and that has been antiquated. So now we're in the process right now, as we speak,
That's a great,
getting that in mind. You have to invest, especially in public safety.
You got a tremendous deal of investing, I think, which has been very, very.
Well, it's paid off for me in my personal life.
Yeah.
How many people can come and say you're going to be a full-time mayor with a salary of $15,000 a year and be here every day? So I've grown up on investing.
Yeah, I think you've done a great job with it too. Everything you've touched has been.
And
been
you
very
can't
positive.
help others, Gene. You know it. You can't help somebody if you're in a poor financial position.
you sure
So I
can't.
thought it was important to get the town in a strong financial stance where we can help more people.
I think it was a great idea. Mayor, one last thing. 2016 Cultural Arts Committee has gotten new life, I think, with Rosemary.
Yeah, Ro came on cultural arts and took it to the next level, and very involved with concerts in the park, and all kinds of activities were going on. So we're very fortunate. She's now handed the baton over to other people for cultural arts, and we just had the apple pie baking contest, cultural arts sponsored. Boy, did I have, there was pies entered, and they were all good. I don't know how they picked the winner.
But the cultural arts thing, is that going to be part of the control farm too? They're going to get a stage?
They're involved in everything, the cultural arts.
Yeah.
Yes, but we'd like to make them a home over there where they can put on their concerts in the park, their plays in the park, and they really have a facility to grow, as we say.
Okay. Good, Mayor. We can move on.
Oh, okay.
How
that was
about
a busy year.
How about it was a very busy year, Mayor. 2016 was one of the busiest. How about 2017? I think it began a little bit with Chris Marion leaving.
Yes. Well, you know, when I hired Chris and I saw him coming up, I knew he wasn't going to be here long because people are always recruiting good talent everywhere throughout the state. And he was given an opportunity to make a move to the county level in Monmouth County. And I encouraged him to take it. He didn't want to leave at the time. I said, Chris, you have to do this for yourself, for your family, for your professional career. You have to take advantage of this opportunity. And he's thrived at that location. I stay in contact with Chris all the time. Good man, good person, just his family. I met his kids coming here when they were young. And now we're just talking about the colleges that he's sending them off to. So, you know, Chris was a big Villanova guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were sad to see him leave, happy for him personally, but again, blessed to have somebody here. I have a deep bench, and I've always said that, to take right over. We didn't skip a beat.
Chris was helpful.
Yes.
I enjoyed Chris. And then Himanshu took
yes,
over.
Mr. Shah was right across the hall.
BA.
Came over and said, you know, he'd be willing to take on the BA position, and you know, and keep an eye on finances as CFO. So we were lucky to have him over and come right across the hall, and he got right into it right away.
Okay, and then we had another new person, I think. Matt Mercurio came in for Parks and Rec.
Local, homegrown.
Yeah.
Came in, running our Parks and Rec department, does a fantastic job. Another great hire, another great part of the team. And he continues to this day, as we see all the improvements going on.
Oh, it's tremendous. I know. I just happened to talk to him before we went on the air.
All the investments, again, in our parks, Cottrell Farm, Amino Park. We're bringing the state-of-the-art baseball facility online in the spring in 24. You're not going to know. Yeah, you're not going to believe what you see.
Okay, Mayor, if we can pick up 2017 warehouse construction.
Yeah, we started
was big in 2017.
Steve, you know, as the Burnettis would all, you know, they own a lot of land here in Old Bridge, and I think they were getting ready to start moving forward with development. We had the stars aligned, and we had a developer come here and say, I'll take this land, let me do a warehousing project, which was controversial, but yet I think at the end of the day, probably one of the most beneficial projects that this town has seen in the last 50 years, if not forever, because it took a lot of residential units off the market. It created a lot of open space. It was an 800-acre parcel. 400 acres were dedicated to open space. 400 acres developed. Tremendous infrastructure improvements. New roads are being constructed that have been talked about for decades. Jake Brown Road extension, White Oak Lane extension. The new golf course is as a result of this warehousing project that we've seen here that we've seen started. That's how many years it's taken. They're being constructed now. They should be coming online in 2024.
Well, I remember that first warehouse over on Waterworks Road, I think it was. When I saw that, drove past it, I was amazed the size of it.
And that's one of the smaller ones. That was Kennedy International. Again, a company with a vision. They wanted to move. They liked the locality of Old Bridge, Central, Route 9, and that they're thriving over there. That place is booming, Kennedy International. Great tenant, great financial benefit to the town.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw the size.
They're looking to expand.
Are they really?
Yes,
wow.
Another location.
Okay. Mayor, one other thing, we're talking about site selection and all the, I think in 2017 the site work really began on the hotel, huh? We decided we needed a hotel in township.
Again, we talked about it for years and years and years, and they met some legal challenges in court. Finally, we broke ground on the hotel, and again, they are thriving. It's hard to get a room.
Is it really?
Yes, as we speak.
Yeah, I haven't been in there.
We just had a Municipal Alliance meeting in the lobby over there. It's a great location, great operator. You see plates from all over the country.
It's a Hampton
Inn, yes.
Hampton Inn, yes.
Yeah. So great, and they're looking to expand that facility.
Yeah, it was badly needed in Old
Badly
Bridge.
needed,
I mean, when we lived in Old Bridge, I remember having guests, and where we're going to put them if we couldn't put them up, you know. And
In the
it was
hospital,
tough
it's
to
a great
find, yeah.
location, and I think it's going to be the first of a few hotels that we see come to town. And again, I get a financial benefit for the town, not only with the services, but contributing a lot of money to our tax base.
That's also desirable, right?
Yeah.
One of the things, the senior center, major transition from being the senior center to being
Silver Linings.
Silver Linings.
And that's Anna.
Anna.
Anna Feltz has taken that to, I'm not going to say the next level. She's taken it to the
the thing has
stars.
changed tremendously.
She has rebranded the senior center. It has been recognized statewide. It's been recognized nationally. She's been to the White House to talk about the programs that we did, and we can get into that a little bit later about how our senior center kept operating through the COVID crisis. We're not there yet.
Oh, I didn't realize they had the White House.
Yes, they were
involved.
at the White House. She was just down in Houston, I believe, recently, talking about the programs that we run here. It has improved the quality of life, and it has lengthened the lifespan of our residents here in Old Bridge. Can't say enough good things about it.
Well, Anna's done a great job
She's
as a
done
guest.
a great job. And now she's my assistant BA.
Is she really?
That's how smart Anna is, yes.
Okay. We'll have to have her on more.
She'll be here.
Okay. Mayor, I think 2017 also was a time when the opioid thing sort of hit a little bit.
Again, it was hitting hard. It was tough. We were losing. I was getting a phone call, I think, every other weekend. We were losing someone.
I know. I remember that you going through that. How is that doing now, the opioid situation in the township?
It's still with us. The Narcan has improved. We've been able to reverse the effects on a lot of opioid. We had a lot of reversals, as they say, with the Narcan. But it's still alive and well with the fentanyl. It's still a problem.
Yeah, this amazing that people would be.
But we've seen a
direction.
reduction in the numbers.
That's good. That's a plus. That's a plus. Mayor, one other thing, in 2017, 5 new members came on the council in the 17 election. They weren't all Republicans, though, are they?
Well,
but that was okay.
It's always okay, Gene.
Okay.
We do our best, but whoever's been on the council has been supportive of my administration.
Well,
I can honestly say
changes,
that. We don't agree on everything.
Sure.
But I think the key issues, they've all shown their support, regardless of their political party, and that's important. I mean, politics really at the local level, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I think it's a tribute to you, to your management, to your management style, that you're open-minded about these things. It doesn't get narrow, and you know.
And we've always made a valid case when we've gone before the council, and I think 99.9% of the time we've been successful in getting the votes we needed from the council.
Okay, Mayor, 2018 now.
2018.
We're there.
Okay.
I know we talked about it off the air, financial improvement.
Yep.
Moody's.
Yes, we get very, very, very close to AAA rating compared to what the town used to be. I know we're in the B. But what was important was that we were getting AAA rates from the lending institutions.
Yes, sir.
They loved what they seen here in Old Bridge and the management that was in place. So we were getting very good rates when we went to borrow money.
That was a positive. I remember
and
that.
That allowed us to invest more.
Yes.
You can't keep saying it. So.
How about the inflation? Is inflation impacting?
A little bit. Yeah, our rates have gone up, but we are still paying below, I think, what most places are paying for. We just recently at the council meeting did a band with a short-term borrowing, and I thought we got a very favorable rate.
So the okay, well, that's a.
But it's impacting
news.
For inflation. We pay more for all the goods that everybody else pays for.
Everybody is
inflation, but we've been able to stay on top of it with good financial strategies and managing of our money.
As we get into 2018, there's a bunch of things I guess we could group together. Hospital expansion continued.
Yes. Again, we talked about the investment.
We talked about the investment.
The hospital made and Hackensack Meridian made into that facility.
They sure did. I remember that very well. How about the new, and you just touched on it separately, was the new warehouses are coming to Old Bridge.
Investment, I believe
More
it's
investment.
almost $1 billion investment.
Really?
Yeah.
That's serious money.
Once the buildings are done, and they'll be rented out, and the infrastructure improvements, it's a lot of money.
That's a tribute to Steve, bringing these people in.
Steve and the developer. We found the right developer, right place, right time.
Well, Steve also mentioned that about 120 new small businesses.
We've lost count. We're probably up to 300 ribbon cuttings here in Old Bridge since I've been the mayor over 12 years. And Steve has played a crucial role in bringing businesses to Old Bridge, keeping them in Old Bridge, and helping them expand. And you can do more shows about the way the business community has reacted to our administration. I mean, they really, Steve is hands-on. We help them on a daily basis.
Sure is. Mayor, you know, speaking of Steve, he had an idea that seemed to germinate a little bit, and that was a effort to bring Amazon here.
Well, that was it was on a Sunday paper we were reading at the time, and I was on my couch reading the paper, and it was about Amazon looking for, they were going to do a nationwide search on where to relocate. And I called Steve, and I said, Steve, and he was reading the same article. So I said, Steve, why don't we put an application? No, we were never going to get Amazon headquarters.
Yeah, I remember the discussion.
It would be a great exercise to go through and highlight everything that Old Bridge has to offer, you know, just for the township. And Steve took that and ran with it. And we got a call from Amazon. But that has helped us attract other businesses. That I believe this warehousing project was a result of someone reading, well, where was Amazon looking? You know, people follow the leader, as they say. So we did not get Amazon headquarters. We don't have Amazon warehousing coming. That last mile headquarters and their warehouses are not coming. But I think that was a great exercise we went through because we engaged everyone. Everyone went through their list of what Old Bridge had to offer, all the departments. And we came up with a booklet that we sent to Amazon. They read it and they called us.
That was an inspired thought,
That was
Mayor.
an inspired phone call.
It really was. I'll tell you, Mayor, I think in 2018 too, Control Farm.
Yeah, we started full blast. The county turned it over to us, and then we started making the plans of what we see now being constructed on Control Farm. That was big. That was the key element right here in the center of town.
Yes, sir.
A little different than any projects we've done before. This is going to be a passive, no field, no sports, just for the public to come and enjoy activities.
Are you going to get your community farm?
We'll have a community garden. We're working on that. The splash park is being constructed. The houses of all the buildings have been renovated. The grounds are nice. The parking lot was installed. It's a big project. Big project.
Yeah, I remember the discussion about the garden when you were big on your garden.
The walking trails, the garden. Eventually, there'll be a garden there.
Good. Okay, Mayor, you also did some work with the township parking. A lot of work with parking.
Our parking facilities were being neglected over the years, and they needed work. And we had a large amount of people going to the city. They were full. In fact, we were at a premium. We were looking for additional parking space at the time. So I thought it was to invest. Let's get these parking lots resurfaced. There was numbers. You couldn't even read the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Paying. We had an outdated collection system where you put your dollar bill in a little slot, archaic. It cost us more to collect that dollar than it did for the dollar. And the parking lots needed improvements, and we did that. And that was at no cost to the taxpayers. We were able to build up a fund within our parking utility. And we continue today to monitor and improve the parking.
With the new facilities.
Security, lighting was changed. We have the charging stations now. Yes, it's something that as parking continues, when we got into COVID, obviously we saw a big reduction, and now we're starting to build back up to the levels of parking. Whether we're ever going to reach the ones they were prior to COVID, I don't know.
Okay. Mayor, we talked about the Old Bridge Library a few minutes ago. It was named the best library in the county.
Middlesex County. And again, a tribute to our library board, our library employees, and our library director. Bringing the programs were then recognized that we had went above and beyond your usual libraries around the county.
Yeah, it's a great library.
It is. Great building, great facility.
And they dedicated it to Art Haney, which I thought was an
former
interesting...
mayor who was who was confident in getting that build, who was dedicated to getting that build through controversial times, but he got it done, and now it's a great facility.
It really is. It really is a nice place. I also noticed that the resurfacing, drainage, and curbside improvement projects began in Old Bridge. And one of the tributes to Nicole is that the 4-year plan was completed in 3 years.
Yes, again, we made it a priority. I made it a priority that we were going to get the roads paved in Old Bridge that needed to get repaved. It's not who lives on the roads, you know, they were getting, you know, paved.
Well, some of the smaller roads, I know.
Yeah, but we paved roads that had never been paved since they were put in, you know, back in the 60s. So, and Nicole has a very robust resurfacing program that we still use today. There's a list, so you can call, when's my road getting paved? Oh, it's going to be done in the spring, it's going to be done in 2 years from now. If it needs to be reevaluated, you know, it'll get moved up on the list. But Nicole and her team went out and evaluated every road in the township and ranked it. So now it gets paved in a priority fashion based on a need.
Okay, so that's a plus.
Politics. Oh, it's a great it's a great policy.
Because I think some of the roads, you know,
if you drive around town, you see it. And in conjunction with the gas line replacement program, Nicole has worked with PSC&G now.
So the roads,
now we're splitting the
fits together.
cost. If PSC&G was going to do half the road, we're going to do the other half, vice versa. PSC&G will do the whole road, curb to curb. And then if we have their road on our maps that we're going to do anyway, we'll do it. Don't, you know, so she's making the most out of a resurfacing project.
Boy,
credit to the engineering department.
It sure is, I'll tell you. Mayor, that leaves us 2018, moving on to 2019.
2019.
Which was your re-election to your third term in office, huh?
Yep. Again, I was confident that we were going to be successful because of all the things that we've just talked about for the last 45 minutes. I was confident again that the people were going to come up and continue the way Old Bridge is going in right now. They didn't think that the mayor and his administration was stale yet. They thought there was more to do. I campaigned, there's a lot more to do. We have a lot more to do. So they gave me a boost of confidence, and we kept moving forward.
I think that's when Steve Mamakis really came into the Office of Economic Development, formally, wasn't it?
Gave Steve the reins to go out there, Steve, and do your thing, man.
And he as we said, he's certainly done that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
How about the groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion of Hackensack? The first floor was expanded to the 10,000 square foot.
Yeah, that was bittersweet because there was a vision that they had for so long, you know, and they just couldn't get it done.
I know.
But when Hackensack Meridian came in and they then made it possible, it was great.
Mayor, I noticed too, in looking at the financial situation, the AAA bond rating for Old Bridge
continues.
Township
Our financial situation continues to this day to improve, Gene. Continues because of decisions made over the last 12 years. And the independent lending institutions see that and recognize it. Have commented on it. And our auditor comes here and says, you know, you can count the towns on one finger sometimes that are in the financial position we are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is really worthwhile considering
considering all the tough things that we go through, the tough economic times. And, you know, they're coming.
Yeah, they are coming. Mayor, the other thing was some new officer hires. The police department
Continue
expanded.
to build the department, We've raised the hiring standards with the help of the council, you know, education.
What's the size of the police department now?
We're 105, 6 right now.
It's about that.
We're going to continue to go up.
Okay, Mayor, I'm remiss if I don't mention that the Old Bridge TV studio also had a renovation. As people can see if they look around here.
But some of the stuff was old. Gee, not meaning you, but
that's
some of the equipment
Mayor.
was old and outdated. But,
I am old, Mayor. No.
Not outdated. I'm old too now.
But no, that's been really a pleasure getting the studio renovated.
And the people that work here are just great. Gene.
It's worked tremendously well. Folks, we're going to take a break right now. We'll be back in a moment to pick up the discussion and cover a few key points. Please stay with us.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Ah, those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh, thank
Great
you.
idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Folks, we're back. We are going to conclude our session with the mayor by going over a few issues, a few questions I'd like him to answer. Moving right along, 2020. Now we get into COVID, the next bad ride.
Unexpected, never planned for, whatever word you want to say, whatever adjective you want to describe.
Wasn't
it
that
came
amazing?
quick, and boy, it came like a freight train.
Didn't it?
Yes.
And everything, you know, the offices were closed, the public events were canceled.
You know, Gene, we didn't allow the people in the building, but there was not one service or not one act of business that we weren't able to conduct during COVID.
Yeah, I know. I've
Weddings,
seen, yeah.
whatever people needed in Old Bridge, it had more of an impact on the employees than I think the residents doing business with town. It forced us to do more online. It forced us to make changes that maybe we should have had made already. And we continue that today. You can do more. You can deal with Old Bridge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But I think the silver linings was a good example that Anna did a nice job of developing remote programs.
Remote, and those are the programs that we've been recognized and given awards for. We realized that was the at-risk population early on, and I thought when we first made the announcement that it was going to be 2 weeks to 3 weeks maybe, and it turned into a very, very, very long time. So Anna was able to get grant money and provide each member with a laptop where they could communicate from home, take part in the programs from home. We were able to monitor and keep an eye on everyone. With this program, we delivered their lunches to them, to their house.
Yeah, I know. She did a great job.
Silver linings came out a better
definitely
program because of COVID, as did the town.
I agree with you.
But it had a huge impact. We spent a lot of money. We had to alternate the workforce. We had a lot going on in town. Unfortunately, some of our nursing homes were hit hard. We were just in a panic mode. But again, we didn't panic. We moved forward every day with a plan, comprehensive plan, what we're going to do today, and what we're going to try to do tomorrow, because it was unpredictable at every time. We opened up our own testing here in town. I remember that. The county, in their divine wisdom, said, "Old Bridge, you're not going to get a testing facility."
Yeah, you had the testing.
Imagine that lining. Imagine that. And people, if you remember, they were lining up.
I remember.
We had cars lined up around the buildings.
The testing, the vaccination sites, I remember.
Vaccination sites. So it was a difficult time in the history of Old Bridge.
Oh, I think it was a brutal time.
And we lost a lot of residents due to, the disease. It was a horrible time, and almost like again, a movie type scenario.
It was. Mayor, I noticed in there too, the police department expanded. They got some more new hires. And
again, we were hired every year, Gene.
Yeah, and Old Bridge was the safest town in Middlesex County this time.
Yes.
So
again,
that was
they put everything together into a computer, and they spit Old Bridge out as being one of the safest towns.
Fantastic. And Cottrell Farm was dedicated. And the project is, as you said,
moving
well
forward.
underway.
Right, we had the Cottrell family here. We continue to communicate with them. They're shipping items from all over the country that had left that home and now being brought back in. So it's a good project, great project. Very proud of it.
Okay. Mayor, I know we just touched on the recovering from COVID, but I think there was one thing in 2021 was really a tribute to you, and that was you were recognized with the Mayor's Hall of Fame for 10 years of service.
10 years of service.
By the League of Municipalities.
Yes,
I think that's
so they have a Hall of
high
Fame.
tribute to you.
Yeah. It's hard to believe you go there and there's some mayors in their position for 30 years, 35 years. It says a lot about the people who serve the public.
But I think it's a great tribute to what you've done here.
Yeah, I'm in my 12th year now. But, that was a big. I was Atlantic City. I was recognized.
Right, I remember
for
when
10
that
years
happened,
of service.
That was fantastic. Mayor, I know the rest of it is has to do with the reopening kinds of things. Saltwater Day, Old Bridge Day.
Yeah, everything came back.
We brought those
We're
back.
Oh, yeah.
Silver Linings reopened.
We came back strong.
And Habitat is beginning and
that was another
continuing
we talked about coming to town, Habitat for Humanity.
Yes, sir.
They've completed one project in town. Now they're moving on to the big project, 12 units, where the old senior center / school was on Lawrence Harbor
That's in
Parkway.
Lawrence Harbor.
That's going to be a groundbreaking ceremony very shortly. With those projects, it's very difficult to get the financing in order with all the tax credits. Our contribution was the land. We gave them the land. We knocked the building down. Now they're in the process of getting the money to construct the units. So I see the groundbreaking in that in 2024. Again, a very good project for the township and its residents.
And they have the manpower to do this.
Yes, they have the record to show they get these projects done.
That's amazing. It really
Looking
is
forward to
tough
working
work.
on the projects. We worked on the first one they did. You know, we had a lot of volunteers from the town go over there and work. We're looking even more forward to this one with the 12 units. This is going to be a big project. Veterans preferred. These are standalone units.
That I think is a great idea. The veterans need.
And these are units that you're going to have to purchase. And everyone who's in these units are going to have skin in the game. They're going to be owned by the people living in them.
That's a plus. And I think particularly for the veterans, some of the veterans are just mistreated, in my opinion. They really are.
Unacceptable, and I hope to address those issues in Trenton.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay. And lastly, in 2021, I think the hotel opened.
Finally. Again, they started construction prior to COVID. And we know what happened to construction and the supply chain during COVID. But that was one dedicated, that was one persistent, that was one committed owner who stuck through COVID. Finally, it had to be one of the longest running projects in the town.
I think you're right.
He broke ground and then they were shut down, but he kept moving forward, whether it only be an inch a day. He finally got it done. So a commitment to the owner and operator of that hotel.
Okay, Mayor, we're on to 2022. We're coming down to the wire.
Last year.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about off the air was a global landfill solar farm.
They started looking
What
to
was that all
take
about?
brownfields. There was a program called Community Solar.
Yes, sir.
Where people who don't normally have access to solar, people who live in apartments, people who live in houses that don't face in the right direction, they couldn't take part and get the benefits of solar power. So what the state did was come up with a community solar project. And what it allowed these solar providers to use brownfields or rooftops and put these solar panels on, and then you could apply and take advantage in an apartment as a first responder. Those who can't participate in the traditional solar panels on your roof are able to participate and get the advantage of lower electricity cost, and at the same time knowing that you're helping the environment by getting solar power delivered.
Those solar panels, they can be put anywhere, or there's a specific place for them?
This was an anchor to the town, if you want to say that. The original operators or owners of the town abandoned the property, so the township had to take whatever you call responsibility for it. The government capped it, so it's no longer danger to the environment. But we, as the residents, were paying the taxes on that property every year because the owner was delinquent in paying the taxes. With this program that was established, that stopped. We are now getting money every year from the energy provider on that site. So it was a complete 180-degree turnaround with a financial advantage to the town as opposed to a disadvantage.
Mayor, what homes benefit from this solar? Is it individual homes?
I believe there's like
it...
700. No, that's not individual. There could be an individual home, but the majority of them are going to be apartment renters.
Houses, yes.
People who pay their own electric bill.
Yeah. So
they have to apply. If they qualify, they will get the advantages and approximately a 40% rate reduction in their electric bill.
Really?
Yeah. We've taken some steps locally to encourage that. The new buildings that are constructed, their roofs are designed to take the solar load, even if they're not on there when construction. And just think of the potential when you have all that warehouse roof space. The potential is huge.
It sure is.
Power here in Old Bridge.
Okay. Mayor, a couple other things in 2022. Phase 1 of the control farm was completed.
Right, the restoration
as we
and
talked
outside,
about.
the parking lot. Yep.
And as we just discussed, the projects on Route 9 are continuing.
Finally, after so many years approved, you see construction. You can actually tell what's going to go there.
You can tell every time you pass there.
Yeah.
There's something else built, and I pass that quite frequently.
And there's more to come, Gene. For that phase of the Oaks and the Regency. Yep.
And Mayor, the golf course was constructed, and in 2023 it opened. Moving on to 2023.
Moving on to 23. Okay, that's recent. We should remember that. Yes, the golf course, again, a dream that had been going on for many years. In fact, that property was dedicated to Rose and Lambert's farm. That was the purpose of it, to get a golf course built, and way before me. I think in 2005, 2006.
It was around for a long time. I think Tom Badcock was a driving force behind
and we were able to get it done.
Yeah.
And at record speed, it was constructed, and we did a dedication. It's open right now, closed for the winter. The golf course is closed, but the driving range and miniature golf are open, weather permitting. So it's a jewel. I encourage everyone to go look at it.
And somebody's managing that, right?
Yes.
We're not,
and again, the township is now making guaranteed income
some money from it. That's nice.
Every year.
Mayor, one thing we didn't touch on too much was Menino Park. I noticed Menino Park has expanded a little bit.
Huge expansion.
Yeah.
Again, for many years, it was just the 2 baseball fields and the dog parks.
Right.
Recently, we put the pickleball courts in. That's going to be expanded shortly.
That's great,
And we've completed what was called the wagon wheel. 3 more all-weather, year-round turf fields are ready for ball, with scoreboards. We're doing the parking lot now. You're going to have a great grand opening there, ribbon cutting in 2024. Everybody's so excited.
Where are those fields going? In the back?
In the back, yeah.
In the back area.
The original concept had a round, with the concession center
I remember
in the middle.
That, yeah.
Only 2/5 were developed at the time. Now all 5 fields will be in play.
Wow. Okay, well, Mayor, I think we've covered the whole ball of wax here. 12 years, 3
12
terms.
years went fast, Gene.
They went fast,
but
Mayor.
A lot was accomplished. I'm sure we omitted a lot of great people we brought on my team.
Yeah.
You have to mention, Vina, our planner, who brought all these projects in a very difficult time. Just everyone, Matt, Steve, so many great people.
Yeah, you've
through
been,
some difficult times. Our police department has been without a chief for a number of years now because of litigation. That should be coming to an end shortly.
Yeah.
So the next mayor will be appointing a new chief.
Okay.
But we've had great leadership at the police department level. I can't say enough about how our department has reacted to the unfortunate situation. Every call's been answered. In fact, I don't think it's ever run better.
Okay. Okay, well, Mayor, thank you for doing that. I think we'll take another break, and then, Mayor, if we can, I'd like to come back and cover a few questions with you, if we may.
Absolutely. I noticed some tough ones, Steve.
Yes, I had a few tough ones, but not too many, Mayor.
That's okay.
Folks, we're taking a break right now. We've just covered the 12 years, the 3 terms of Mayor Henry, and we'll be back in a few minutes to discuss a few more things on a personal basis with Mayor Henry. Please stay with us.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Folks, welcome back to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. As I said earlier, I said several times, this will be the mayor's last appearance on an Old Bridge Outlook here in the township. He is moving on to other things, but before he does that, we have walked through his 12 years, his 3 terms, and before I let him go, I'm going to pose a few questions to the mayor, and he's been very agreeable to taking them. Mayor, what was the toughest issue that you encountered? And you've taken us through in 12 years, you've taken us through a lot of...
That's a tough question, Gene.
Yeah, tough issues.
There's been a number of tough circumstances, tough conditions, but I think coming in on my first term and looking at the finances of the town and having to deal with cleaning up that mess, I think that was the toughest issue I've had to face, making the decisions that hurt people. That I think was the toughest, and you were witness to those first couple of council meetings where, you know, recall Mayor Henry, but I stood there, I faced the music, and realized making that decision, an internal decision, that this is what I ran on, that I was going to fix this town, and it would have been easy, you know, to maybe continue the progress the town was in and putting things away and making it worse at the time, but it was time to dig the town out of the hole it was in.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate that I had the support of the majority of the council to make those decisions. And I think that was the toughest. And, you know, all the things we talked about.
Yeah, all the things. We talked about a lot of tough decisions, Mayor. COVID and...
I mean, personal-wise and emotionally, the Pathmark shooting has left its mark on me. COVID, going through COVID and Sandy, I've seen personal struggles, you know, for people.
Yes, sir.
And that's been very difficult to see that. But personally, the biggest challenge I saw and the toughest issue was straightening out the finances of the town. And I knew how important that was in order to move forward.
Yeah, you certainly put your finger on it because it certainly worked. Mayor, what was your greatest satisfaction? What are you most proud of?
Oh boy, I tell you, Gene, they continue to develop. People come up to me, of course I don't remember them, and they tell me, you read to me in first grade, you gave me an opportunity. That's a great satisfaction when people come up to you and say thank you, you know, good luck. We really appreciate how you helped. I think helping people has been the biggest satisfaction. I knew I was going to straighten the financial situation out, so I wasn't really, you know, satisfied.
Right.
It's rewarding to see the way the town is. But the satisfaction I have is I think I received from the people of this town who are giving me 3 terms, the opportunity, really, it's an honor and a privilege. That I think is my greatest satisfaction, to be appreciated, I guess, from the average person
definitely.
who don't know me.
It'd be very normal.
Respected.
Not to be. Yeah.
Even my greatest adversaries have told me, good job.
Good job. No, definitely.
Yeah, they didn't agree with me, but they realized
but that's
how to
okay.
get done.
People don't always have to agree with you as long as they respect you. That's what I always feel.
And you're doing the right thing, Gene, but more importantly, I've always felt you have to do the right thing right. Because sometimes we tried to do the right thing and got crushed.
It happens. It does happen, Mayor.
So doing the right thing, but doing it right is even more important. And through my administration, we've tried to do the right thing right. You know, come up with a plan, sell it. You know, be that salesperson to convince the council that's skeptical from day one.
Yes.
Anytime the administration wants to do anything, the public, sell what you're doing. And I think we'll be able to make that sales pitch all the time.
Okay, Mayor, and I should mention one of the things you did is an ongoing effort, and that was the reading to the kids. What got you started reading to the children?
University. I was in office a few days, and of course I didn't have a lot of friends here. I was pretty much on my own coming in, and Monmouth University reached out to me and said, would you like to, they had a program going on where they were going to...
Over at McDivitt?
McDivitt School. I said, absolutely, you know, get me out of here, get me out of the office, I'll go to McDivitt and read, and I just saw the faces on these first graders.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I want to do this. Yeah. And we continued the program right up until, for 12 years. And to see those kids come back to me
you've said
and
that.
say, you know, I remember you. And now they voted for me.
Yeah, that's right. They voted for you.
So yeah, that was great. And all my interaction with the kids. I was in the high school. I was one of the only mayors, I think, I'd go around town where the kids knew me and the parents would say, who's that?
I remember you saying
and the
that.
Kids,
yeah,
that's
the
the
kids
mayor.
would see you. Yeah, the kids would see you.
So they're great.
Is that what got you out on the skating rink too?
And that's what I do it for, you know, the youth. I have my grandson now. Again, that's why I'm here, for the future, not for me.
Mayor, if I can ask you a question, what made you run for the Senate vis-a-vis running for a fourth term? Was there a
Well, I was all ready to fill my papers out for the fourth term, as I said earlier in the show. I was ready to be the mayor for the fourth term. I was confident, again, going in, that I would be successful. But then the powers that be at the state level came to me early on in the year and asked me if I would like to be the senator. And they gave me a short window to make that decision, because if it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be somebody else.
Sure.
So I thought about it, and I thought about my father. I thought about just where I could be more help. And I think at this particular time in history, I could be more help to Old Bridge and its residents, and the 12 other towns I'll be serving.
Yes, sir.
I think in Trenton. I think a lot of the impacts and the negative impacts on Old Bridge are coming out of Trenton. So I want to see if I can have an impact at that level and have a more positive impact on the residents of Old Bridge with the crime and just all the education curriculum. Everything coming out of Trenton, I think, is having a negative impact. So I think the stars aligned, the right place at the right time, and it was unanimous for people who don't agree on anything, agreed that Owen Henry should be the senator in the 12th Legislative District. So I was pretty impressed by that. If I wasn't, I thought about it, and if one of them was against it, I was thinking of staying as the mayor. But when all four of them got behind me, all four county chairs, and that opportunity came, and then I was also supported at the state level, I said, let me go for it. And I think I owed it to myself.
Yeah, well, I think that's a fantastic idea, Mayor. And
because I'm going from the king of mayor down to the senator, the freshman senator of nothing.
Well, that's for now.
That's for now, yes.
Okay, Mayor.
But I thought it was time, Gene. I thought it was time.
To move on.
To move and also continue to have an impact on the community.
All right, Mayor, I think that a lot of what has happened, not a lot of, most of, all of, has happened in Old Bridge in the last 12 years is a tribute to you.
Well, I hope history will say, we'll feel the same way after we're gone, that, Old Bridge had a good run with Mayor Henry, and the run continued because of what he had done, and he had a huge role in Trenton. So I hope the history books will write,
well, I think it's
what my impact was.
It's a tremendous tribute to you, I think. And Mayor, on personal level, I want to thank you. It's been great working with you.
Same here, Gene.
For 12 years,
you've been
3
here
terms.
You're the rock,
I've been here through it all.
And you're going to be here after me. So
yeah.
Well, we got to do a Senate show.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe we could do Trenton Outlook.
Trenton, I would love to come and talk about
and have
issues.
you come in and do some Trenton talk.
Trenton. I mean, we could probably do a 3-hour show with the fiasco that's going on in Trenton right now.
Mayor, you, as I said, you've done a great job. I've been impressed. I've learned a lot from sitting here with you and watching the way you work. And I want to wish you the best of luck in Trenton.
Same with you, Jen.
And
Gene, health, happiness, the whole 9 yards.
Well, thank you, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy personal year
and a professional year. So I get a week off between I'm not the mayor and not the senator.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you the other question. How is Santa Claus doing at home?
He's doing great.
With Joseph?
He's doing great. Joseph is he's a blessing from God to have him in my house with me. He is unbelievable. We have a great relationship.
Yeah, well, it seems you.
I look forward to bringing him to the State House. He loves coming here after I get him out of school. So now I can't wait to bring him down to the State House and see that beautiful facility and the history and what that means to us New Jerseyans.
That's fantastic, Mayor. And finally, are there any last words you have for the residents?
Oh, the residents, I have to say thank you. You've blessed me for the last 12 years. There's no words to acknowledge what they've given to me, the residents of Old Bridge. I can't say, and I tried to give back, but they've given me 10 times more than I've given to this town. I really do love them. I see them. When I go places, they constantly telling me how much they appreciate my service to the community.
Again, I'm repeating myself, but I think it's a tremendous tribute to you that the township has done as well as it's done in 12 years, 3 terms. I mean, it has blossomed from where it was when you came in 2012 to where it is now.
Fortunate that in God's plan for me, that I was here 12 years ago and everything just worked out.
Okay, Mayor. Well, thanks again, and we are going to look forward to seeing you on Trenton Outlook. Once you get your feet wet. When are you being sworn in, by the way?
I'm sworn on the 9th at 12 o'clock in the afternoon in the State House, in the legislative
and
chambers.
You'll be on television, too.
It'll be on television. I've been asked to escort the governor to the podium for his State of the State address. So I don't know what to say.
Okay, that's quite a tribute right there.
I'll be a little taller because I'll be walking a little higher that day off the ground.
Okay.
My family will be there,
we're going to look for you.
My friends, and I'm looking forward to the challenges and everything that comes along with it.
Okay, well, thanks again, Mayor. And before we go, folks, I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of everybody here in Old Bridge and on behalf of the staff here in OBTV, want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a very happy, healthy 2024, that everything should go very well for you. Take care. It's been a pleasure working with you all this year. Stay tuned to OBTV in 2024, and that's when we'll see you again. The last announcement I have is the new mayor will be sworn in on January 1st. So you may want to look for that. And it will happen in the
Council Chambers.
Council Chambers, yes. Mayor, right? In the Council Chambers, Debbie Walker will be the new mayor. And we'll see her then, we'll see you then, and have a great, great 2024. Thanks again for watching us. Take care.